Welcome to T-Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show, obviously episode 217. And obviously there's quite a lot to talk about in this one. Obviously I had the absolute nightmare of Blackburn away. I will not be doing that again. And then obviously we've signed a player today, as we all know. So obviously we'll be getting into that as well. And then obviously we're playing tomorrow. We're another Friday night game. Obviously we've had a few of them this season. Obviously the last one was that draw against West Brom, and I wasn't feeling too great, so I didn't do a watch wrong in the end to that. Did react to it as it went along, and then obviously the Plymouth game, away game, which is not very memorable from our side of things. So we have had a few of them this season. But first of all, Dad, before we get into anything, how are you?
Yeah, all good, man. I hope you're cool. Everyone's cool.
Yep, no, absolutely. Big up to everyone that has been waiting before we went on. Big up to Stephen in the chat. Says big up to Ty and Dazza. Big up to yourself, mate. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So it's not going to be an in-depth reaction like it usually would be, because obviously I had the absolute drama, as we all know, with Blackburn away. So, and it was another one from what I heard and what I saw. It was another one of them terrible away performances where no one deserves man of the match. Yeah, let's get straight into it. So obviously a recap on the game. I mean, going into it, we thought that we could get a draw. That Stoke game did give us a bit of confidence, as much as Blackburn have been good at home this season. They've done much better than I thought they would. I thought they'd actually get relegated. I thought Schmodik's departing would, massively affect them, but it hasn't. They've recruited well. They've done well. And again, it was another one of them games where, what I did see up until about half an hour in, we looked very nervous at the back yet again, in my opinion. Blackburn, they had three decent opportunities. They were just putting pressure on us, piling up pressure after pressure. Obviously we had Chong as a wing back again, Moses there. Obviously Moses has been good the last couple of games there, but it was the way we chop and changed it. I mean, I think Holmes has been decent throughout his time at Luton, but in this game he did look a bit wobbly and shaky at times in the game. And again, you just sort of felt the signs were there that they were going to probably, get a goal. And obviously they did. It was another one of them poor defensive moments, really, where we just struggled to clear the ball, really. And it's just like I say, like I've said, the numerous weeks and throughout the whole season. Anytime a team goes forward against us, we just look so vulnerable. There's not that grit and determination to defend, really. You've seen it in a couple of spells. Maybe you could say Hull at home, maybe, but predominantly throughout the season, you just haven't seen it. And it's like, you get worried, even if you're playing the so-called worst team on paper, they come at you in the league, you're worried because we're all over the place. Obviously, we've got players out as well. More players have come out today. It's just I don't understand. I don't understand what is going on. And for me, you do have to question what's going on in training, because the fact and the reality is we've had these injuries now for so long, and it's mainly defenders. Yes, every now and then it's the strikers or the midfielders, but it's mainly the defenders. And again, we know some of them can't keep fit. Like I like Burke, but he just can't keep fit. But then there's ones like Anderson, who never had a poor injury record, really, when he was at Barnsley and stuff like that. He comes to us and he's just injured all the time. I know he's come back, he's on the bench the last couple of games, but even when he comes on, he just don't look. Yes, a lot of that's down to match fitness, but I remember Plymouth when he come on, he couldn't even walk. You know what I mean? It's like we're rushing these players back and we feel like we have to as well at times. And again, obviously, we're getting to the signing in the very shortly, because obviously that is a defender. But yeah, another one of them away performances, really, wasn't it, Dad?
Yeah. Lineup was the same as I said it would be, but except for some, I don't know why. Well, it come out and said why you put Ashioka on this side, Holmes on the other. You know what I mean? Swap them round, swap Chong and Moses round. But obviously, it didn't work. We were defensively shit again in the first half. Better in the second half. We actually had like 50% possession. We were better, but we offered nothing really. A couple of chances, but nothing. No fight there, and it's the first goal. Story of the season. We just seem too easy to score against.
exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And when we win, I think that's what teams are finding. Do you know what I mean? Just have a pop shot and stuff. We just it's just frustrating. Yeah, same old story. And this is what we didn't want to see. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I went on a Blackburn channel before the game, Blackburn Rover season. You know, he was saying to me, "Would you take you know, you'd be loving a draw? You know, would I take a win?" I said, "I'll flip and take a draw, mate." To be honest, like because how bad we've been away, and it's just like, when is it going to change? I just don't understand. You know, how can we keep being this like poor? Like, it's like, where is that fight? You know, I always mention it in the last couple of weeks. That type of yeah, we had Nathan Jones, but that Blackpool, you know, away performance, like, where's that? Do you know what I mean? That fight, because let's be honest, Blackburn that year, not Blackburn, sorry, Blackpool that year were terrible. You know, they got relegated, you know, but they were putting pressure on us at home because, you know, they're at home, they are going to have them chances. And we dug so deep and, like, done well. You know what I mean? We was at that game, but, like, where's that type of fight? We're just not seeing it. And again, I think a lot of that does boil down to the manager. I do think some of these players need to hold their heads up, you know, and fix up. Obviously, one of them we'll get into, as we all know. But you know, a lot of the others do as well. But at the same time, you know, it's on both of them for me, the manager and the players, because you know the manager is putting these players in the wrong positions or positions we don't agree with and stuff. And yes, all right, we're not football managers, whatever. We can just have our opinion, but at the end of the day, it's not working, and it's not been working for weeks upon weeks away from home. Um, you know, it's like Mike said in the fan cam. You know, if you know our home form weren't as good as it was, we would be even more down there. You know, and it's just a fact and the reality. And even then, you know, we haven't been great at home, but we have been grinding out them wins. So it's one of them. But yeah, as I was going to get onto Liam Walsh. I mean, obviously, I didn't see the game live. I was outside the ground, as we all know. But you know, I heard the Blackburn fans chanting "off, off, off." And I didn't think it was him initially, I'll be honest. I just thought it was anyone, to be honest. But, you know, that sort of gave me a bit of a helping talking point with Mike at the end of the game. But typical, why is he doing that twice? You know, I did like to see what Morris done, you know, the pushing and that, because, you know, Morris, you know, a bit earlier on in the season, we were, well, especially me anyway, I was questioning his leadership. You know, I was saying I want it to be given to someone that's a bit more defensive. But the last couple of games, I've said it since the Norwich game, he's shown that he is a leader. And in this game, you know, he's done that with the Walsh situation, which I can't blame him for. It's two clumsy ass tackles. You know, the guy's barely played for us. And, you know, like I said in the fan cam with Mike, there has good moments that he's had for us. Like his vision for passing is really good and stuff like that. You know, his eye for a pass. But you can't do that twice, you know, and just you know, get away with it really. Obviously, a lot of people have said, you know, they don't want to see him play again for us. I mean, where do you stand on it, though?
I think that's ridiculous, really. You know, because that's just not going to happen. You know, sometimes players are reckless and whatever. You know, I'm not defending that, but to say never play for us again, it's a bit over the top. You know what I mean? Considering he's actually quite a good player, just don't try and tackle. But in the lead up to that, it's similar to the lead up to when he got sent off in Oxford. You know what I mean? We lost the ball. He's come on. He's hungry to try and get that tackle, show that fight. But you know what I mean? And the same thing happened in this game. Elijah lost it and he come like steaming in to, I think, to show the fight. But obviously he's got it horribly wrong both times. It's not his best. Just stop tackling, mate. Just play your normal football, you know, and just don't go in for slide tackles because you're obviously fucking terrible at it. You know, he's got a 4-game ban. It doesn't look good on him, obviously. Going to be out till next year, not playing. So
yeah, I think it's the game after Norwich, which is QPR away, and we know that gets a bit feisty. So if he comes on in that, we don't want to see that again.
I think we only gave him a year's contract anyway, possibly.
It makes sense with his injury record.
Like that. So yeah, I think it was something like that. Do you know what I mean? probably, unless he when he does come back, he doesn't get sent off. He creates chances, he gets assists, he gets goals, and he turns his season around. I don't think we'll be keeping him in the summer, regardless of who's in charge. So it's one of them. Their second goal, I don't know what happened there, because their player looks well offside, man. When they received the ball, but I think what happened, it come off of deflected off of one of our players, so it enabled him to be fine. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, done stupid defending. It's like a FIFA goal, And then we had a couple of chances after that. We did play better in the second half. I still feel, even if Walsh hadn't got sent off.
We would still lost the game. Yeah. Me and Mike said
it just sums up our season and what's going on at the club, etc., etc. So I don't know about never play for our club again. He probably he will, but I don't think we'll end up signing him because it's not been great, has it? Really, you can see he's got ability. I think maybe he needs to drop down League 2, top league, League 1, team, and he'll do all right. He's definitely got ability, no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, even though we were so dominant in Preston away, but we didn't win or get a draw, I thought in that game he was a positive. When he come on in that game, because he has got that, like I say, he has got that good eye for a pass. It's just like you say, tackling. If you're going to tackle like that, just don't do it. And again, it could be one of them things. Yeah, people might say, "Oh, it's just a saying." Third time lucky, maybe. We might come back and be all right. We'll see. Just don't put your foot in like that. The Oxford one frustrated me more, I'll be honest, because people say this one because he's done the same thing again, but I'll say the Oxford one because he was on for 30 seconds?
Yeah.
And that was in that weather as well. That weather was dreadful to be trying to put tackles in like that. So we shall see what happens, but obviously a lot of people, rightly so, frustrated with it, but we shall see what does happen regarding that. But yeah, let's go through some more comments. Big up to David. Good evening. I hope you're both well. Blackburn can politely, not too sure about new signing, but I hope the experience helps us out. Apart from that, we wish it away. Yeah, 1 a.m. again. Obviously, we'll talk about the signing in a minute. Lewis obviously had his thoughts on it. He says it's very interesting. Yeah, it's be interesting. We'll get into it. Big up to Paul inside. Stephen says, I think we all thought a draw would be a positive, massive boost, but yet again, passive, very open defensively. It's becoming exactly that. Yep, more injuries. Surprise, surprise. David says his thoughts on the game tomorrow, so I'll get into that. Shout out to Dora in the chat. I'm sure when we play each other in the FA Cup, we will be on each other's channels, if I'm being honest. Apologies about that. With the way we are, I'm not looking forward to that game. And with the way you are this season, if I'm going to be honest. But yeah, good to see you in here, mate. Obviously Stephen's not too happy. Hi T, Daz, it's frustrating watching us. If we looked like we was fighting, it wouldn't be, but we seem to have lost it. Yeah, exactly. And that goes back to what I say regarding, the passiveness and that grit and determination defensively. I've got no problems with us attacking because I know we've got them strikers that are proven in this league. Brown's now on top of that, scoring goals as well for us. So I've got no doubts about that. It's just defensively I worry. And yes, we've got injuries, but still, it should not be this bad. Do you know what I mean? It's like League 2 defending. I have to be honest. It's just, it's awful. It's terrible. Big up to Hanno in the chat. Good to see you in here, mate. So, yeah, there we go with that. But yeah, so that's that on that. So overall, another disappointing away day. Obviously, we've got nothing for that. And due to the performance, I mean, I heard Kaminsky made a few good saves again. What a surprise. But overall, no one deserves the man of the match from us. It's another one of them games, really. And every time they ask me on the coach, well, this time I definitely couldn't give it to anyone. But half the time, I don't when we lose like that. Every away game, I think I've not give it to anyone because they've just been the same performances, really. So, yeah, there's that when it comes to that. But, yeah, moving on to signings. Obviously, we have signed Erik Pieters. Now, this is quite an interesting one, like people have said in the chat. And it's an interesting one because well, for me anyway, because obviously we signed him in. We had him in the summer. Obviously, in and around the team, there was rumours that we were maybe going to sign him then. But then, obviously, due to these defensive injuries, I think we felt we've had to push the button and go in for him. Obviously, he's 36. You know, he is experienced, which could help. You know, I'm not going to say it definitely will, but it could help because I do feel, especially since Lockie has been out, we are definitely missing that leader at the back. But I just worry because, you know, like I say, he's 36. He hasn't played a lot of football. I don't know the last time he played football. You know, if I'm going to be totally honest. And yeah, it's one of them where if we were so serious about getting him originally, surely we would have got him in the summer, right? Like, I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical on it personally. How are you about this one, Dad?
Yeah, it does. It does smell a bit of like, you know, a little bit of desperation. I can see like the experience, the age, yeah, whatever. But Rob Edwards has kind of even come out and said, even if he doesn't play, you know, like he's got, you know, it's good for him to be around. But yeah, maybe at the beginning of the season, not now. You know, but is that what you wanted him for in the beginning of the season? Probably, but maybe he would have gone on the bench. But it's just we should. Like, if you're in League One, then that would be a good signing, I think. But I don't know. I just think unless we need to clear up more space, because he's going in the squad as a squad number. You know what I mean?
21 he's got.
Yeah. So I'm not. We'll see what happens, but I don't think it's going to be. It's a short-term thing, so it's probably till the end of the season, if that. Probably that though. I get it, but does that mean we're not going to bother signing any other defenders? Probably. You know, because it's hinted that it's kind of based on the fact that Lockyer was back in training, was due to play an under-21s game next week. He's got the all clear. Although a lot of fans like, I don't want to see. It's this hard to watch. You know what I mean? But once, you know, he's been given the all clear by experts and doctors and things like that. So you know, after a couple of games, you'll be fine. And he would bring certain leadership skills and just a big buzz around the whole club, to be honest with you. But so I think that's kind of why we've done it. It's just, I just think it's taken up a space, maybe like where we could get in I don't know, extra attacking options. You know, some midfielders. Obviously, we've got that Fanny guy coming in. You know, we have been linked with that young 20-year-old. Can't remember what his name is.
Yeah, the links come around about this time last week, wasn't it?
I mean, he obviously wouldn't go as a squad number, I don't think, but he could still be eligible to play.
Yeah.
But you know, also we'll see. They obviously like something about Pieters that much that they're willing to do that. So we'll see if it actually makes an effect, because our defence has been absolutely dog shit for months and months and months. So let's see what happens. You know, it didn't cost money. It's a short-term contract. He probably won't be here in the summer anyway. So we'll see what happens with that. It's interesting, you know. But the better news, obviously, is that Lockyer is like actually close to a return.
Definitely. That's great.
Walters isn't far away either, from what I've heard. So
yeah, he's the closest one to return apparently out of all the players that are out, which obviously I'll list very shortly. But yeah, there was something I saw the other day, right? So this season so far, we've conceded let me go back on it. So we've conceded, right, 37 goals, right? Because the season we went up, right, we conceded, I'll go on to it now, 39 goals.
Yeah, I know.
So, you know, that tells you all you need to know really about how good the defence was back then. And again, it was another one of them where you look at it back then and we had that core, didn't we, predominantly? But I can't think that season of us getting hectic injuries. I can't think. You know, I know Elijah had a spell.
Yeah, defensively, that that needs to be looked at, surely.
Because it's the last 2 seasons, isn't it? Like the Premier League, we haven't got, in the Premier League compared to everyone else's squads, or especially the top end teams in there. Obviously, we don't have that depth, and we're like first season in the Premier League, and we're having to have like 16-year-olds on the bench and stuff. Like, you do have to question it. Like, I have to be honest, because it's happened the last 2 seasons, and it's mainly defenders. Like I say, yes, it's the strikers every now and then, but it's so rare compared to the others. I don't, someone I know actually said to Potts before he left, like he had a conversation with him in general, and he was saying apparently they're doing they were doing heavy stuff in training, like defensively. So, and you look at him, he didn't play throughout the season, which was gutting. I didn't want him to get that Premier League appearance, because obviously he's been with the club for a while, had his moments, Birmingham away and stuff like that. So, it looks right. It looks right when you think about it all. But let's go through some comments. I mean, Darth Vader says, "Seems like good to see you in it, mate." So seems like a short-term solution. Yeah, it definitely is. There's no two ways about that. It's an understandable signing, nothing to get excited about. Yeah, I mean, like I say, it's understandable in the sense of he was with us in the summer. We know what he's about in that sense. But then I just think to myself, it's a bit of a panic buy at the same time, because if we really wanted him in the summer, we would have got him in the summer when he was training with us. So yeah. Shout out to Spencer. He says, "Hey T and everyone else, big up to yourself, mate." So yeah, there we go with that. Yeah. That was it. yeah. No, a lot of us were, to be honest. I'll be totally honest with you. But again, I don't know what they see. Like, I don't know what it is with some of these football clubs. They just think they're a good man manager. They're good on the pitch. Like, come on. Like, they just think, they think. Like, Wolves were looking at it before they got this new manager, and they were just thinking, "Oh, Luton are just crap." That's what it is. That's why they're doing so bad. It's not anything, not a little bit on the manager, not a little bit. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. So yeah, there we go with that. So yeah, that's our thoughts on the signing. Do let us know your thoughts on the signing, and then the final thing we will get into is obviously the game tomorrow. Obviously, we do take on Derby, and yeah, I mean, quite an interesting one. Derby, obviously, throughout the season, especially at the start of the season, they've been very good at home. As the seasons went on, they're not so good at home. Obviously, they are away for this. And there was a stage, I don't think they're the same now, but there was a stage where they were the team with the fewest points away. But I know they picked up a few points. They did beat Coventry away, which I did actually say they would. Not a lot of people did. So I just had a feeling. Obviously, they've got former Luton players, as we know. Don't really start, especially Bradley anyway. Collins, bit of a mix and match. He's been on the bench a lot more as the season has obviously gone on and stuff. I mean, it's an interesting one, because I remember the first Hat show we did in the season, me and David obviously talking about when Woodrow was linked to them and they didn't even want him. Do you know what I mean? And we know their striking's been a bit makeshift. They haven't really got that consistent one. They've been chopping and changing. So, I mean, it's an interesting game. Obviously, as for the table, they sit 14th. So, if you first season back up, as it stands, you would definitely take that. Obviously, if they were to win, they could maybe, depending on how they win, they could actually go up to, well, anywhere, 10th maybe, 11th. So, as for us, obviously, we're sitting 19th. If we did win, again, it could put us a few places up. Could actually put us above Derby, to be honest. Yeah, and actually above them, not above Millwall, because our goal difference is terrible. Minus 14 compared to Millwall's, 2. So, yeah, I mean, draw could put us up a few places as well, depending on what Stoke and QPR do. Won't put us above Preston, because their goal difference is better than ours, quite convincingly as well, to be honest. So, it's an interesting one, but there is a lot of insights that do actually favour us going into this game, to be honest. So Luton Town have lost just one of their last 5 league games against Derby, winning 3, drawing 1, winning this exact fixture 1-0 when it was last played. I was actually at that game. It was when Danny Hilton scored that goal. I think it was outside the box from memory. So that was a good strike, and there was a lot of banter between the fans that day. Derby County have lost each of their last 3 away league games against Luton Town, with each of those defeats coming via a different scoreline: 1-0, 2-1, and 3-2. So it's mainly obviously a 1-goal win for us. And then this one is, you wouldn't think it, with how most people feel regarding Luton this season, especially us as fans. Luton have lost just 1 of their last 9 home league games, winning 5, drawing 3, keeping 3 clean sheets during that time, and conceding multiple goals in just 2 of those matches. And then Derby have won just 1 of their last 11 away league games during the 24-25 season, drawing 4, losing 6, scoring more than 1 goal in just 2 of those matches. And then the last one, which is an interesting one for both of us. Derby have scored 13 goals from set-piece situations in the Championship so far this season, the most of any side in the competition, while both the Rams and Luton have netted 8 goals from corners in this campaign, the joint most in the second tier. So, going into it, we know we're both good at set-pieces. Obviously, for us, you've seen, even without being so reliant on Doughty, you see Jordan Clark's crosses against Slope. Baptiste, before he got injured, obviously against Hull, done some good crosses. So we have got them other players to take it. And we still are looking like a threat from corners. It's just keeping them out, really, as we all know. A bit more on Derby. They're 7 points above the relegation zone, ahead of their first visit to Kenilworth Road since February 2022. One side came into League One last season behind Pompey, who they hammered at home. Yeah, I didn't expect that, to be honest. Again, they're good at home, but I thought, 2 newly promoted clubs would be a bit tighter game. But they absolutely destroyed Portsmouth, to be honest. So it's back-to-back Friday games for them as well. Derby's away form has not matched their record at home. Lost every game up until October. So yeah, they're really poor start, like I said, away. Since then, they picked up 7 points on the road, most notably the win at Coventry, like I said, before drawing at Burnley as well. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. That's a great result. So yeah, that's that when it comes to that. Like I say, Danny Hilton scored the last time as we went into the playoff places. Yeah, because actually, if I remember rightly, that was that spell where we couldn't win 3 games in a row. It took us so long to do it in the Championship consecutively. It's taken us a while to do that now as well, to be honest. But yeah, we finally broke it. I remember that actually now. Yeah, proper clear. And then the official for this game will be Andrew Kitchen. 55 yellow cards and 1 red card have been handed out by Kitchen across his 13 games this season. This will be our first fixture officiated by Kitchen after he's promoted to referee duties in the Championship during last season. This season, 12 of his games have been Championship games. So we'll see. Can the promoted ones, referees, be better than the ones that get, put down from the Premier League? We shall see. But yeah, after saying all that, Dad, how are you feeling going into this one?
Pretty confident. Got a good record against Derby. It's going to be a good atmosphere, especially with Bradley and Collins being there. Collins will probably come on. Do you know what I mean? When I was younger, they used to get the better of us quite a lot. We used to have really good games with them, but now it's like turn. They're coming off the back of a good result, excellent result, so that'll give them confidence. But we are slowly sort of improving at home, even at times. This is how we kind of should be. The way we are at home, when we've played poorly, we're still winning. Do you know what I mean? And that should be throughout the season, and that would probably give us more confidence and stuff. But it's just the way that's holding us back. Yeah, I'm feeling quite confident. Yes, we've got a lot of injuries, but I just feel that we've got enough, and it's a Friday night under the lights. Well, I think we've just got approval for the stadium. I'm not going to say that's not making everything all cool, but these little things subconsciously help. So yeah, I'm feeling quite confident, to be honest.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Like I say, when I read out the stats I've read against Derby, it does favour us. I think in the histories, we beat them both the same amount of times they beat us. I think it's like 16, 17 times, something like that. So yeah, it's quite an interesting one. I mean, like you say, we haven't been convincing at home, but we have got them wins, and that does give people a bit of confidence. Another Friday night game we had, which weren't so great this season, just coming from the top of my head, was that QPR game. Remember that? We lost 2-1, that frustrating one. That was at home as well. And that was during deadline day, actually. I remember that. So, yeah, I mean, as for me, I don't know, man. I worry defensively for us, especially the fact Derby have started picking up points away, and it just would be typical for Collins to do something in this game or someone like that. But I don't know. I mean, we can definitely get a result. I have no doubts about that, especially with how we've been at home. Much as not been convincing. I think we're like ninth on the home form table. You wouldn't think that, would you? So we can definitely get something. The crowd will be up for it at the start. Depending on how the game's going, obviously it will change their mood maybe. But yeah, we shall see. It's going to be interesting for sure. But let's go through some more comments. Darth Vader says, I think what Rob Edwards wants to do is like we have oil and water, two don't mix. We have a very good squad and the manager can't get the best out of them. Again, like I say, I do agree with that because you look at it and you think to yourself, well, there's certain players playing in positions that just shouldn't happen. Who was I saying it to the other day? I was saying it to someone. Can't remember who it was. And there's every time we play a game, there's always one thing me or you discuss that, or me and someone in the chat that I see at the games, and we say to each other, well, that player should not be in that position. Like this weekend, what was it? Well, Chonga's a wing back,
Actually, centre back.
Yeah, Hashioka at left centre back. Especially with the fact you see what happened in the Stoke game, the goal they got, he's better as a wing back. We know that. And even certain games like standout one for me is Sheffield United away. The fact Jordan Clark was up front, I couldn't believe it. That was crazy. And then Real Waters, I think, was left wing back that game or something. Yeah, it was crazy. So I have to agree. I do have to agree. And yeah, it is getting frustrating because it's just a repetitive cycle going on and on and on, especially away. But yeah, let's go into our lineup predictions. So, interesting one. I mean, with the injuries, it could be a good opportunity for certain players to step up and try and stake a claim going forward, especially for these upcoming weeks, because Real Waters has got a broken foot and apparently he's the closest one back. So, yeah, based on that, that tells me, that it's maybe going to be a week or two, maybe a couple more weeks for him. So good opportunity, I feel, for other players. So I'll get into my lineup first. So I was thinking of doing a back. Let me move. I was thinking of doing a back four, but I just can't see us going with it. And to be honest, guys, I did struggle to think who I'd put as my right-sided player because obviously Hashioka's out, so I don't really know who else there was, to be honest. So I've just gone with what we have gone with. So obviously Kaminsky in goal, one player we can't complain about. The only thing I will say is, well, to be fair, I didn't watch the game because obviously I didn't proper see it, but I don't know if his distribution had a bit of a question mark at times, but shot stopping unbelievable. We know he's one of the best in the league with his shot stopping. Probably prevent us from doing some madness tomorrow. I've gone with Holmes. I feel a lot of people are forgetting about Holmes, to be honest. McGuinness, there was some nice pictures actually that come out of training. There's a good picture of him and Morris actually that I see today before we went on here. So he looks like he's buzzing. He staked that claim in the middle of it. Controversial, guys. I have gone with Pieters. Now, again, I know he can play anywhere across the back three. I was maybe thinking of putting Johnson in, but then I don't know who I'm putting on that right side or centre back because I haven't really seen Holmes play there. Like I say, McGuinness has staked his claim in the middle. In the middle. So yeah, I'll go with him there. I've gone with Moses as a wing back. Again, he's done well as a wing back, hasn't he? The last few games. I mean, maybe not last game, but the whole team was poor, to be honest. The games before that is really good, especially at home anyway. And then obviously Chong on that side. I mean, I don't really want Chong as a wing back. I would like it to be like how it was when we played West Brom, where he's sort of inverting. And obviously that was the game he got that goal as well, sort of like that, because I don't want to see him strictly defending, because the second goal, they scored the other day, Blackburn. I didn't like the way he was dangling his leg out. Yes, we should have dealt with it after that, but that's the start. Do you know what I mean? If he's not dangling his leg out like that, maybe we actually never have that problem in the first place. But again, I don't like to see him there, but I don't really know who else we're going to go with there. I don't want to see Brown as a wing back. We saw that against Brentford in the Premier League, and it didn't work. And as soon as he went up front, he scored. So I don't want to see that. Nakamba and Kraus, a bit more defensive minded. I know we're at home, but at the same time, I don't. These injuries is why I've gone with them. I don't like the way Nakamba's sort of been thrown out. Not playing as much. I don't like that, if I'm being honest. Kraus, obviously since he's come into Luton, he's done a bit more, of the attacking sense, as we didn't expect that, did we? We thought it'd be more defensive minded, him and Nakamba sort of fighting it out. And then Clark ahead of them. I did like Clark's interview, to be fair, against Blackburn. Saying obviously Welsh needs to look in the mirror and that, and he had his honest thoughts in the game. You know what I mean? He weren't just, in my opinion, just saying it, like they do and stuff. So I'll go with Clark. Again, obviously he can be that set piece threat for us when it comes to taking them. And then I've gone Morris and Elijah. I don't know about this three up front personally, because the only reason I say that is because when Brown plays, I don't really know where he actually is playing, especially Norwich away. I didn't have a clue, if I'm going to be honest. Yes, he got the goal, but I didn't really know where he's playing. And I just feel, bring Brown on, use him as that super sub. And say Elijah or Morris comes off and they don't score and Brown does, then obviously you could argue to start Brown the next game. So that's what I'm going to go with when it comes to my lineup tomorrow. So, yeah, a few people probably don't expect Pieters to come in. I mean, I don't personally, but again, I just don't really know who else I'd put there, really. So I haven't seen Holmes on the right. He could do well there, to be fair. But, yeah, we shall see. But as for your lineup, Dad, slightly different to mine. There you go.
Yeah. Kaminsky in goal, I think he's the best option we've got in goal. And, just joking. So I'm bringing in Johnson, mate. Like, I watched a bit of the last game when he did come on. Yeah, he was pushed for it. Yeah. Comfortable on the ball and was trying things and that. And we've wanted to see him a lot this season. And like, this is what I'm saying. I don't want to see you bringing in Pieters. What about Johnson? He played he played in the Premier League for us last season. He just don't seem to be getting a chance. So I'm banging my man there. Yeah, McGuinness in the middle, standard. Holmes, he played in that position before. Yes, he's not, not the quickest. There's plenty of defenders in football that ain't the quickest, but they're still good defenders. So I'm banging him there because I didn't realise that Hashioka was injured, because I did have him there.
Yeah, that made me proper change. Why not?
So I'm going to go Moses on that side. At home, he's played there a few times. He's looked better in certain games recently,
especially the last two home ones, Swansea and Stoke. He looked good.
Yeah. So I'm banging Chong on the other side. If people could say that's weak going, if they attack that side, but I don't think they played up that so much. And I have no idea who else we're going to put there, to be honest with you. Unless you put Moses. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'm keeping Clark. He's played really well in the last couple of games. Kraus, I think he's been a standout, played pretty much every game for us and deserves to. So I've gone with like Cam of Brown. I'm putting Brown in there. I know we've played kind of three up front recently in that kind of way. And we don't know where Brown is. It's because he's like all over the place, but predominantly he's in. Do you know what I mean? And you got to stick with I think Morris and Elijah are actually working pretty well together recently, especially at home. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, and obviously the last two games, the last game, Morris and Elijah obviously did score at home, didn't they? So that's another reason I've gone with them. So yeah, if I could pick Darth Vader, I definitely would. But unfortunately, that's just not going to happen. But yeah, I want the back four with JJ Holmes, Guinness, Moses, Clark, Pelly, and Ruddock. Yeah, talk about Ruddock actually. I've seen a lot of people saying he deserves a bit more of a chance to play, and I do agree. I do agree. I know, we've said his last games, especially in the early games of the season, the pre-season game, and again, people go, "Oh, it's only pre-season," but your pre-season is telling. And it definitely has been for us. He obviously had their moments against Celtic Vigo, but at the end of the day, it's one of them where he is getting a little bit disrespected, I feel. It should be coming
as well. Like he's like the one that normally would gel the change room together and everything like that. And I just don't think that's happening anymore. Even if it is, because he's not being played subconsciously, you haven't got as much respect. Do you know what I mean? Because he's not even really coming on.
No, that's what I mean. Yeah, he's not. It's crazy. Like, it should at least.
I wouldn't mind seeing him start. Just, do you know what I mean? We're going to have to write this season off. Like, we're not going to go down, but we're going to be writing this season off. So maybe like just bring him on. Do you know what I mean? Especially at the moment, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to accelerate his departure. Accelerate a few people's departures.
We're going to have to now. 25-man squad, so we're definitely going to get rid of players.
Three players go in January. A couple on loan as well. Possibly Anderson.
I could see that, yeah. For minutes.
One of the goalkeepers. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. This transfer window, and don't forget Rob Edwards has come out and said it needs to be busy. So you've obviously had chats with the board and that, because you can't come out and say that if it's not going to be busy at all. Last season we signed Hashioka. Some people say because we maybe should have signed more. We didn't really expect all the injuries we got, and we don't normally actually buy, sign players in January. A couple of times we have, but normally we
get it
early in the summer, and we didn't this season as well. It's a big change. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I'll see we're being linked with a couple of players, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. It is getting to that stage, isn't it, where it's going to be hectic when it comes to business and stuff, especially for us. We need to do a fair bit of business. So I'd say now with Pieters coming in, we have that 25-man squad. So we knew we were getting rid of players anyway, but we're definitely going to have to now. It'll be interesting to see what players we put out on loan and get rid of. I think we could probably have a basis. Taylor's definitely going, whether that's loan with an option and then permanent. But yeah, I could see Anderson for minutes. I think, it's one of them where you look at it and you think to yourself, well, he needs them minutes, doesn't he? So it's one of them. Good to see Peaches in the chat. Hope you're back at Derby. Yeah, obviously you got rivalry with them. Good to see you in here. Hope you are well. So yeah, people putting in their score predictions. Darth Vader also says, I agree, Pelly been disrespected. Yeah, he has. And I think he's got to that stage where, how you see that energy from him and he has that banter. You do see that in the posts, but you don't see it as much because he's probably feeling it, that he has been disrespected a little bit. But I wouldn't mind seeing him come on in games, starting some games, because it's not going to be no better. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not like it's one of them. Try it out. Do you know what I mean? I'll tell you what though. When he come on in that Watford game, obviously everyone was immense that game, but like he was sick. He was sick in that game because the previous games before that, he was awful. Let's be honest. But
I don't think he's played him.
No, he hasn't. I don't think. Not that I can think. Like he is a legend of the club, definitely. And it will be emotional when he goes. You've got to be honest. And hopefully he gets like a testimonial or something. That'd be good. So we shall see. But yeah, I can't see him playing more at the moment than he has been. So yeah. So yeah, it's all interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's quite an interesting one. I mean, I don't blame us for the money side of things, and now it's proper works. We have to be honest. Obviously, I don't wish injuries on no one, but obviously he's got that long-term injury, hasn't he? So that's actually, made it look like more of a good
I
idea.
do think it's a good deal because he was good, but he weren't really showing a lot, and he probably would have continued similar to Chong in certain respects.
And he was also limited to doing what outsiders probably thought he was really good at, which
and
they
also,
saw briefly.
We ain't going to get the money now that we would have got for like certain players before Chong, Doughty, Mengi. So 8 million, when you think about it, I think that's good. But we need to be spending money in January. We need to be offloading players that not really play. Woodrow, Taylor. Loaning out maybe Anderson, because I think defensively, yes, we've got injuries, but if we can start putting teams under pressure and scoring goals, then do you know what I mean? That gives you a bit more confidence and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And we always have them beliefs that we'll score, don't we? It's just conceding.
A striker, I think we should go out for a striker and attack, and an attacking fucking winger or something. Do you know what I mean? Someone who's actually gonna make things happen.
Especially with, like we say, Taylor will go, so you replace him basically. Woodrow, I would say he should, like majority of us, but will he actually? I don't know. But Taylor definitely will. So that's your replacement there. And I totally agree. I mean, I've said it for a while. I think, as much as Morris and Elijah are proven at this level, and obviously Brown's chipping in now as well, I still feel we just need another one. Even if it's someone with a bit more experience, not quite like Jerome, because that didn't really work out, but someone that's just, maybe even played some games in the Premier League or played a lot of games in Championship. Someone like that. We need someone like that, I feel, to help them going forward. But we shall see. So yeah, there we go. Darth Vader says, in my opinion, Mengi, Elijah, and Chong probably had transfers blocked them out. So, but allowed to leave. I think it left bad taste in their mouths. Not happy about the lack of professionalism. I mean, the Mengi one was a weird one because it said the day before, didn't it? He was going to Reno, was it? Obviously Fabrizio Romano is very reliable and stuff like that. Said that as well. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Elijah one, probably rumours. Obviously, Chong had the list of Premier League teams. But yeah, I mean, the Chio deal for me was, I didn't mind it, I'll be honest, because I think his last game for us was Preston. And again, he was limited, because he was playing as a wing back. Still, he didn't set the world alight, guys, in my opinion. He had a few good moments, but, if we had him in the team now, it wouldn't make a difference. Do you know what I mean?
Well, look at that. It's not. Hasn't made a difference, and we're playing the same without him as we did with him. It's not.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, our corners and set pieces have been better without him recently.
I would say so. Yeah, I'd agree, because you've seen a list of players that can actually take them. Not just one player getting him to go each side, taking him every set piece and all, even if it's far away from the goal, attacking goal. It's annoying. But yeah, like I say, you look at Clark against Stoke. Baptiste obviously had great deliveries against Hull. Moses has shown a few decent deliveries as well. So we've got them takers. Jackie says we need someone with pace and who can dribble. Yeah, I totally agree. Because we haven't really got anyone in the team that does that, bar Chong and maybe Moses. Haven't really got anyone like that. And obviously, they're both limited right now. So we need someone higher up there. I totally agree that can do that as well. We have a squad that fits 4-3-3, yet Robert is using players in all sorts of positions. Waiting to see Kaminsky up front.
Yeah, he does it too much. That's too much. You know what I mean? Yeah, we've seen it loads of times. Even last season, like I say, when he brought Brown and he's played at right back, struggle. Then he moved him up front. He scored or whatever. Clark up front that time, little and large. You know what I mean? Adibo and Clark. Just too much tinkering. Like it was the same team. I thought, well, yeah, sweet. But then it swapped,
Yeah, he swapped it during the game.
Swapped onto the other side. Fuck. Just leave it as it is. And then if it's not working, do it. Just too much tinkering. Man.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely agree. With that, it's trying so hard to get it right, but it's just not working. week upon week. Really, when it comes to it, as we're seeing, especially away from home. But back at home, Dad, under the lights, Friday night, score predictions. Can we? You said you're feeling confident. You feeling confident of a win then?
Yeah, I think because of relative positions and how we play against them generally, being at home Friday night just before Christmas, I think we'll sneak the win. So I'm going to go for a 1-0 Luton win.
Yeah, obviously we like a 1-0, as we know this season. I think the last time we did that was the Cardiff game. So yeah, that's fair enough. As for me, it does sound like a broken record, guys, but I'm going for another draw. I think it'll be my third 1-1 draw in the last 3 weeks. I don't know. I think we could beat them 1-0. But I don't know. I just think it's going to be one end games, them picking up a bit more away as the season's gone on. We're still going to have them frustrations, and I think we'll be very lackluster at times. Unfortunately, hopefully I'm wrong, but I've seen it in every game, whether it's been home or away. So 1-1 for me. That's my prediction. When it comes to it, do get in yours. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, and that's like players like Chong as well. Yeah, and Moses. To be fair, it is frustrating. And let's be honest, Chio did have that to a certain extent as well. But yeah, do get in your score predictions if you haven't already. David said earlier, surprise there, but I think we can win tomorrow night. Our away from needs to improve, and our defence when we play Blackburn looked like they were just ball watching. So he's confident of a win tomorrow. If you're still in the chat, mate, do tell us your prediction. Jackie's done 2-1 Luton, Clark and Morris to score. Nice. Yeah, that'd be good. And Paul has gone with 2-1 victory for Luton as well. Your goal scorer, Dad?
I'm going to go for Clark. I think he's been building up. And I think I reckon I could see him scoring for us. Maybe late on second half, getting that winning goal. So
Yeah, I think I said Clark against Blackburn. Obviously, that didn't quite happen. So for me, I'm going to go Morris. It was a striker last time we played Derby. Obviously, Hilton. I'm going to say Morris gets the goal, gets another goal for us. Darth Vader not feeling too confident. He's actually gone with us to not even score, which is a very rare thing at home, as we know. But he's gone 2-0 Derby. I mean, I can't even blame him, to be honest. So I've gone with a draw. Like I say, they have picked up a bit more away, as much as we, surprisingly, have been good at home. You wouldn't think it, but it's one of them. But there's someone next to me who will do your score prediction.
I'm going to say
3-2. Right, I said that last time. It went great. So
yeah, but you're good at home.
We are good at home. 3 goals. We're scoring 3 goals. When's the last time we did that? Watford, wasn't it? Never know. Friday night, they do have them crazy games sometimes. One of the Friday night games a couple of weeks ago is pretty crazy. Obviously, Plymouth-Watford, wasn't it? 2-2. So you never know. You never know when Watford fans were lagging in real life. But any final things, Dad, you want to say?
Nah, I'm looking like enjoy the boxing as well on Saturday. Come on, Fury.
Yeah, come on. I know there's a few boxing fans in it. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to that. Oh, well, I thought he'd win last time and he didn't, as we all know. Bit of banter being thrown at me. But nah, hopefully he does this time. He seems locked in and stuff, so I hope he wins. Regarding the game, I will be in and around the area. I'm not going to the game, but I will be in and around the area. If any of you know the Wheelwright Arms pub, I should be there, or the Brickies. I'll probably put a post out tomorrow on the community post, so stay tuned for that. Follow me on all the socials. And yeah, man, I'm going to do a vlog there. Obviously, they'll be showing the game because it's on Sky Sports, and then I'll be doing fan cams as well. So if any of you are in and around the area, do come over, man. Well, I've always wanted to do it. I wanted to do it for when we beat Brighton 4-0, but I didn't go in the end. I was gutted because that would have been sick to do that back then. So yeah, I will be there for that. Not too sure if David's going to the game. Obviously, if he is, then there'll be a fan cam with Mike, I'm sure. But again, I'll let you lot know when I know. And then obviously, yeah, I don't know when. Oh yeah, Boxing Day is our next game. So yeah, we'll do a hat show a few days before. Probably won't do it on Christmas. Obviously, it's Christmas. So yeah, man, that's that when it comes to that. Obviously, we've got another tough away game against Bristol City, I remember going there. Well, not actually going there myself, but I remember we went there and lost 2-0. We were 2-0 down in about 10 minutes. I remember we watched that, Dad. Oh, it was absolute mare. So, especially the way we've been, not looking forward to that. But see how tomorrow goes first before we look at anything else. But yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Obviously, do smash a like if you haven't already. Do subscribe. Do check out all the content that's been out. Obviously, if you lot want to see the madness, if you haven't, regarding me getting kicked out of Blackburn, then obviously do check that out. Do check out the fan cam. Obviously, me and Mike did as well. And yeah, check everything out that's been on the channel recently. And yeah, until a few days' time when we react to this game, when I actually watch this game, which we'll be able to this time, we will see you lot in a bit. So take care and peace. Up the ton.